Hey, it's Chase Carter. I'm here with Matt Lund, owner of Crown Trophy, to do a quick business interview. Matt, thanks for joining me, man. Appreciate having you here. Um, I'm just going to talk with him about his business here, what it's doing. He's going to tell me about it, where it's going, and you get to know him a little better as he serves the Ogden area. So, Matt, first off, thanks for letting me come in. Beautiful showroom here, conference room. Uh, Tell me about Crown Trophy. What is Crown Trophy?
The end of the day, I kind of tease people, we're a trophy shop, but trophies are maybe the smallest part of our business. At least in the traditional, kind of youth football sense, we do thousands of trophies every year. But this business has really evolved. I'm not even sure how to summarize it. Corporate awards, whether custom acrylic pieces, any personalized item, custom crystal or glass, anything from barware, customized, drinkware, things like that, to high-end sales awards, high-powered, years of service type stuff.
Yeah.
We really specialize, at least in this area, in anything awards and recognition based. This could be even from like household items like cutting boards that are used to recognize, a whole industry of different things unrelated to business. Um, even to like tumblers, Yeti mugs,
Yeah.
hydro flasks, things like that. We also, I believe, are the number one supplier of rubber stamps in all of northern Utah. So
So not just your little guy with the top that says first place.
Not
a little
just,
more than that.
Not just trophies. We do thousands of self-inking rubber stamps every year. We service the majority of banks and credit unions.
Awesome.
In northern Utah. And then a huge kind of active growing part of our business is actually, I refer to it as our boring business. It's part marking essentially. So whether it's VIN tags or, like any kind of identification.
For products, things like that.
Yeah, product, machined parts, anything tied to like medical device cells or manufacturing, aerospace specifically. We do a lot of stuff for kind of the industrial, machining and whatever. It's anything that needs to be identified with a permanent mark. To the more fun side of things, which would be engraving like guns and knives and kind of outdoor equipment, stuff like that. You name it, we do that here. And then we've also kind of through COVID have built an apparel business as well.
Nice.
We offer screen printing service. We offer embroidery. Kind of maybe the fastest growing part of the business is in custom patches. Everyone's seen, that hat with the leather patch.
Yep.
Leather's one of about 12 different patch options, and hats are not the only thing that can go on.
Yeah.
That's maybe just a taste into what we do.
Nice.
You name it, we probably do it.
Yeah, and it sounds like if you're in the Ogden area, there's probably a touch point you've had at some type of business, whether it be a bank or a promotional item or even in real estate, where you've touched something that you guys have done, right? Just because it's not just trophies, it's a wider spectrum of business. So in that note, how did you get into Crown Trophy? How did you become the owner? What's the history of you becoming Crown Trophy?
Yeah, kind of roughly summarized my background. I had started off, kind of as a young aspiring entrepreneur, whatever that means. I worked in finance.
Haven't we all?
Right. I worked in finance for a long time and thought I loved it. And one day I came home and, just kind of having a rough day. And my wife asked me, do you actually like this? And I'd never one time considered that I didn't. But as we thought about that, and it really kind of rocked me. I realized what I liked the education. I liked working with other people. Yep. What I didn't like that she had identified was I didn't like selling people. I didn't like having to decide between feeding my family and doing what was best for a client or customer. And it was really starting to rub me raw. And so we ended up kind of quitting that. We had some money saved up, and we thought, I'm not just going to hop from job to job to job. I want to find something that can be a long-term solution. And
Right.
so I was interviewing different places. I had turned down a bunch of other jobs, and um, little did we know at the same time, a guy named Kurt Freeland, the previous owner, he was
I
actually
know him.
you might be familiar.
Yeah.
He's kind of a common friend, common
Yeah.
enemy. I don't know, but he was in the process of trying to sell a business, and he and my dad go way back,
Yeah.
30, 40 years or whatever, 50 years, I don't know. But they go way back and had been kind of talking. And honestly, my dad felt like this was a good opportunity, and he took my wife and I to lunch and kind of presented the idea. And the rest is history. I had been inside of Crown Trophy one time before we had closed on the business, and I was working there. So my second time inside the store, I hadn't even had a tour of the building. We already owned it before I'd taken a tour. And I'm not sure I'd recommend doing it the way that we did it to anybody, to be very clear, but it's just kind of worked out. It's amazing. So that's just kind of a perfect timing, relationships, and weird events. And
I'm a firm believer that like whatever's supposed to happen will, and obviously you got to put yourself in the right position or give yourself the opportunities or take the opportunities that come to you. It sounds like an opportunity presented to you and you took it, and
it's exactly
kind of how my whole thing was with when I bought the t-shirt store before I did apparel, and actually when I got into real estate, same idea. So I think that's what life's all about in the end, right? It's just taking opportunities that are presented to you. So speaking of that, what is the opportunity for Crown Trophy? What's in the future for you guys? What's your next opportunity?
So it's an interesting kind of market because Crown is part of the largest awards franchise on the planet. There's about 150 stores. They're all based in the United States. I sit on the advisory board for the franchise and have a lot of interesting insight into our industry. And as a whole, the industry has really slowed down. In some ways, it might make you nervous because those that are succeeding right now are largely succeeding because there's less people involved, not so much because the industry is growing. Kind of the foundation of who we were and honestly still are. But the youth sports, the trophies, the kind of participation stuff, that's still a core piece of our business, but it's evolving. Youth enrollment in athletics is down across the country in almost every category. And so the question, maybe stated back to you, is how does a little store like ours continue to evolve and honestly stay in business? We're in a world where brick and mortar is not successful almost across the board. And so when you've got, huge retailers, box stores, all these traditional brick and mortar stores closing, how do we stay in business when everything we are is brick and mortar based? And I think it starts with a couple things. One, due to the custom nature of what we provide, it's very uncomfortable and almost impossible to work with someone digitally.
Yep.
You have to talk face to face, man to man, woman to woman. You have to have a real person that takes care of you. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that we offer here. Obviously, if you call, you guys can hear the phone ringing off the hook in the background. If you call us, we'll answer. You get a real person. If you send an email, there's a real person on the other side. We misspell things when we send you an email. You're going to know you're working with a real person. And that's the value, one of the values that we offer. It's interesting because in this market, the way it's been reduced, we have been one of the fastest growing stores in the country. And as a whole, Crown continues to grow. And so the question is basically, can we evolve? I think the demand for personalization, for recognition, for appreciation, not only is it not shrinking, it's growing. It's more important now than ever before, especially with remote workers and how, as a business, how do you help your people that never even come into the office, have maybe never even met half of their coworkers? How do you create an environment where they feel appreciated and involved? And, the things that we offer here with awards and swag and personalization, and, it's a very unique service, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
that is absolutely crucial to employee retention and to success of your, company, and even being able to communicate what your company's vision is and being able to establish a culture that helps with that
Yeah.
vision. And so the question is just, can we continue to evolve?
Yeah.
And a lot of our stuff is transitioned from a more like government funded youth activity based business to, corporate business, um, just trying to kind of serve other businesses
sure.
and help them and whatever. So
For sure. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate your time today, Matt. I know you are busy. The phone is ringing off the hook. You probably got orders you got to get to. Um, Go ahead. When I post this, I'll put all of his information in there. But where can they find you? What's your phone number? What's your address? Go ahead and plug your business.
call us on the phone. That we're kind of old school that way, and that number is 801-621-2055. You can also send us an email, super easy, at CrownOgden@gmail.com. Or if you want to be real old fashioned, my personal favorite, come by the store. We're at 2726 Harrison Boulevard in Ogden, and we're about a block north of Ogden High School. Right on the corner, can't miss us. It's a super unique house, over 100 years old, that's been converted. Been a business now for probably 40 or 50 years. And come check out the property. That's really what we're doing here, right?
Yeah.
Come see the property.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks again, man. Appreciate your time, and we'll send you some customers.